Welcome everybody, what's the crack? I'm Irishpotato, and please join me while I play a Star Wars Starfighter. It's a trap! Hi everybody, it's Irishpotato here, and thank you so much for joining me for this review of Star Wars Starfighter. Released in 2002, Star Wars Starfighter takes its inspiration from Episode 1 era of the prequel trilogy. At the time of its release, it got fairly decent reviews, roughly scoring around 7 or 8 out of 10 in all of the major publications. Inevitably, IGN gave it a 9. Think of that what you will. It found its home on PlayStation 2, where it sold inevitably well, and that's pretty obvious given the subject matter. Star Wars games sell well. I actually picked it up as a rental back in the day, so roughly I literally played it to death during that period, completed the story, and my memories of it prior to playing it again, 13 years later, were very, very positive. But had time been kind to this game? Well, short answer is no. Whilst the production, the sound, the effects, etc. are all very good for the era and all lend an immersive experience to the actual game itself, making you genuinely believe you're in the Star Wars universe, the big issue, unfortunately, is the control scheme. This was, you may remember, before the time of a standardized dual stick control mechanisms, where basically your left stick would control your movement and your right stick would control the camera. You'd think that would be a fairly obvious way of dealing with a space shooter on the PlayStation 2, given the DualShock 2 came as standard. But unfortunately, the developers decided to go with the left thumbstick as movement, left and right trigger as rotation, and finally shooting, brake, boost, etc. as the face buttons. And what that does is create a very counterintuitive control system. There's no easy way to say this, but these controls are complete and utter bullshit, and there's absolutely no way to remap them to a more acceptable level. And I would know this as I used to bullseye womp rats in my T16 back home. Unfortunately, this control system left me spending half my time sideways or upside down, or to be honest, crashing into the ground. It was just honestly bullshit, and I found it really took away from the enjoyment of this game. It's so bad, in fact, that it took me 6 tries to actually complete the training itself, which in itself is a fucking travesty. I actually rage quit 3 goddamn times. And that was just to make this goddamn video. So that in itself says to me that the controls are pish. In terms of gameplay though, it's relatively simple. It's run around, shoot spaceships, try not to crash, run around, shoot shield generators, try not to die. Rinse and repeat, and you've got pretty much exactly what you can expect from this particular game. The other issue I have, which is not a fault of the developers but more of a George Lucas criticism, is unfortunately this game finds itself playing in the era of Episode 1. And I think we can all agree that the prequel trilogies were not good, but Episode 1 is complete and utter Jawa shit. Seriously, Jawa shit. The design of the ships, the design of even the costumes, everything about that era just doesn't excite me the way that the others do. Even the Clone Wars, which I have to say is fairly close in shitness to Phantom Menace, excites me more than Episode 1. So that's another big issue I have. And so in order for this game to really capture my imagination and really get me to want to play it, to want to love it again, it would really need to be a good game to have in my hands, and unfortunately it isn't. The other thing is you end up piloting Naboo fighters, which again just aren't interesting. You know, you long for the moment where you're actually in an X-Wing or even a TIE fighter or anything, Millennium Falcon. You just want to be in the iconic ships from the original series, and that's what this game has. A lot of stuff wrong with it. that it could have controlled, but the stuff that it couldn't, for example the Phantom Menace era, is something that's a big issue for this game.
Huh. I wonder what it's
So,
like here at
should
night.
you buy it? Need I ask this question? I honestly don't think you should. I feel that if you're really hankering for some space exploration in the Star Wars universe, unfortunately on PC your options are limited. This is probably your best option, but be prepared for disappointment. It doesn't play well, and given the modern trappings of shooters these days, anything first person, or even if you've played something like Elite Dangerous or one of the other sort of major space games on the PC, you'll be disappointed by this. It is crap. It is pure crap. So save your pound, save your dollar, and go see Star Wars Force Awakens another time, because this is not a good use of that time and money. So, there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. Slightly different format for this video. I actually wanted to go down the route of making this funny and making it a real nostalgic trip down memory lane, but the game itself has aged badly. The control system is very poor, and I just couldn't back it. I couldn't recommend it. I thought it'd be better to be honest to you guys and actually give you a really straightforward review of what essentially is not a very good game. If you've liked this video, please like somewhere along here, subscribe, share with your friends, and if you think I'm very wrong with my assessment on Star Wars Starfighter, please drop a comment below. If you've never played it before and you find this useful, drop a comment. If you think I am completely and utterly wrong in my assessment, I'm just crap at these sort of games, and then I'm also interested in having a chat with you as well. Drop it down below and we can get chatting. Thank you so much for watching. I've been Irish Potato. You guys have been fucking awesome. I look forward to the next installment in my Star Wars series.